do something that is calling to you, whether it's taking photos, making art, anything. Just do it.
Welcome to Living in 3D Power, a space where questions matter, stories heal, and joy is our practice.
Hey, it's me, Emma. Welcome back to Living in 3D Power. And today we're talking about curiosity curators.
Yes, curiosity curators from the WITF camp you did in Harrisburg, and it was through Pennon Education. So you did 2 camps in one day last week, which I thought was pretty cool, and it was Curiosity Curators, Mysterious Science, and that was focused on podcasting. What? The fact that they had a camp like that for rising middle schoolers, the middle schoolers, is awesome. And then you also did visual storytelling and media production. So which one came first? Because you did a morning, you had a lunch break, and then you did afternoon.
I think in the morning was like more media stuff, and then in the afternoon was more podcasting.
Okay, so you did like the media production. So tell me a little bit about the media production. What did you do in the morning?
We did like stuff about sounds. We did like mini lessons with like people, like experts.
So who were some of the experts?
There's like this sound person.
Oh, like a sound engineer from WITF. And what did you learn from him?
A lot of stuff.
Like
How there's like different sound waves for like different like sounds.
Oh, like wavelengths and things like that? Were you able to see those?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool to see the wavelengths. And you know how there's different sound intensity, or the frequency of it is so high that only dogs can hear it or younger people can hear it. Remember we did that before? And Daddy and me could not hear it. And you know I'd be struggling with my hearing sometimes. So that kind of stuff, like the frequencies of that and what dogs hear with the whistle versus what humans hear versus what younger people hear, I think it's pretty cool. But I think you also said something about you learned, I guess, sound and emotions or like storytelling. So talk a little bit about that. Like, what did sound do with the stories you were telling?
We did this thing on the first day where we like went around the building and we like picked up like sounds for a story.
And what sounds did you pick up?
Well, one was like we went outside even though it was raining, and it was like me. There's like rocks, and I was like stepping on the rocks. And then I think the other one was like a dead plant, like a dry plant.
Ah.
And then I think one was like water, like from like a faucet. I forget the other one though.
And did you put those together to make a sound, or did each of those separately?
Those were like a story.
So what was the story that you made from that? Is that on your website? Okay, so hopefully we can pull that up. So the other thing Emma did, which I thought was super cool, when I came in the last day, you had your own table with all the things that you did through the week, and they made a website, y'all. Like 11-year-old made a whole website on Canva, and I didn't even know you could make a web page on Canva. So they just sent us today the link so that, because I couldn't download some of the songs that you put on there because it was on their account. And so now I saved a copy and I published it. I also did not know that you could publish on Canva. So Canva gives you their own site, like mysite.canva or something like that. So your website is now live, which is pretty cool. So let me just pull it up. Well, it's not like anyone can find it, but I thought in order to be able to see it in website form, so I'm pulling it up on the screen, but it starts out with, "Hello, my name is Emma Sessoms, and I know you
Emma Marie."
Oh, you didn't have room for that, though. Oh, down here. I was just reading the little graphic that you had. So she has her welcome page, and this song here, I don't have Spotify, though. But who is this? And like, listen, the other thing you need to think about for accessibility is people that have order eyes. That's better. You probably see that perfectly fine, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm like, girl. In and out, I can see that, and it's
Raven Lene.
Who? How do you know about Raven? I don't even know who that is. Did you know? I don't be knowing stuff unless it's gospel music and like 90s and 2000s R&B. So who is Raven Lene?
She's a singer.
Let's see if I can actually pull it up. This is it?
I like the beat.
I noticed that about you. You've always loved beats since you were a baby. So the thing about our ancestor now, Aunt Jerry, was when Maya, I remember I told you this, like when Maya was a baby and Maya would dance, and she goes, my baby can dance, like our baby can dance. And so the one time Aunt Jerry put on, she had one of those old school, you ever see like those old school record players? You probably have never seen one, but they're these huge, like credenza like dressers, and there's a CD play, like not a CD player because it was before CDs, but a record player, 8-track tapes, the cassette, all the things. So she would go and play her music, and then Maya would dance. One time though, she played like this old down south Baptist music, and Maya was like, she ain't moving to that. But it was so funny because when you were born, it was after Aunt Jerry died. I saw you dancing like that, and I was like, she thought Maya was the one. If she were to see Emma dance, like she would be so happy. So when I see you dancing, and you don't even know the lyrics to the songs, but you'll pick up the lyrics pretty fast. But the thing is, it's the beat, which you absolutely love. So what I thought was super cool about the camp is that you were able to make your own music, which you already have been doing. What is the thing called that you use on the iPad? Monster? Is it not Monsters? I don't know.
You're thinking of the app.
App that you use.
It's GarageBand.
Oh, GarageBand.
You're thinking of My Singing Monsters.
Yes, but it still has beats. You can still make music to it, right?
Well, you can, but like
they're like dancing around the screen.
Yeah, but there's like already have like a beat.
Yes, but you can mix them. So that's what I mean. Like you can mix the sounds together, which I think is cool. So you learn from the sound engineer to start learning how to mix things together. And so where is the song? Let's find the song. This is your song?
Yeah.
Which one? Both of them?
I like the second one better.
Is this the one that I was like, this could be our theme song?
Yeah.
So y'all, listen to Emma's. This is the world premiere of her music.
Click. Takes a minute.
That's cool.
My voice is in the beginning. No, like in the beginning, like the beginning. It's a little off. Wait, play the end again. Play the end again.
Why?
Play the end again.
That's your favorite part, isn't it?
Play it again.
What?
I like it. Play it again.
Emma. You kept saying, I love the ending, but I love that even when you think about choir songs, when they stop the music and they just have the drums playing, that's the best part. So I think there's a little church in there too. But that is really cool. And you said in the beginning you could hear your voice?
Yeah, I did my voice in the beginning.
Did I miss it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
I said, yeah.
Oh, so you were in a microphone and then you blended it all together. That is really, really cool. Did you love that? Because you do that at home. So then did you pick up any new skills from that? No? You were like, already been here, done that. this is something that's not new to me. I absolutely love that. And you got me sidetracked from the questions we're supposed to be answering. But as I keep going down your website.
Yeah, mommy.
No, because it's really cool. But your website, I guess one of the tasks you had to do is make a video with no sound. And so what program did you use for this?
Canvas.
Oh, so everything was in Canvas except for like the music with GarageBand. So a cloud kitten. I've never seen a cloud kitten. That's pretty cool. And then this, I don't think it's working. And that's the thing sometimes about websites. Some of the things don't work and get a little buggy. But I love how you have the old school digital hand.
Click. It's not
click.
that old.
No,
It
this
looks
is
the
like
same.
I'm saying this is from like when computers first came out. It's very AOL. It's pretty cool though. And then a little bit about me. I am Emma. And I also have a podcast with my mom called Living in 3D Power. When I am older, I want to be an entrepreneur and make clothes. So clothes with S, yes. So I love that you're thinking about entrepreneurship. I think I'm an entrepreneur, so I think that it can be very challenging, but I think it allows you the creative freedom to build and dream about what you want that doesn't exist in the world because people don't want it to exist or they don't see it as valuable. And the more that you align yourself with what you really desire to do and how that helps to make the world a better place, the more you will find the people that also believe in your vision. So I think that is awesome. Then you have something here. I tried it earlier and it wasn't playing, so let's see if it plays now. So tell me about it, even though it's not playing, what was this supposed to be?
You can see it.
Oh, it's just a sound, but you can't hear it. Were you supposed to hear it?
It was playing my favorite song.
Oh, so you were supposed to just see the sound waves of the song? So what's your favorite song?
The one up there that you just played. No, like In and Out.
The In and Out by the artist. Oh, so that was teaching you to see how the sound waves. And this helps with podcast editing too. So sometimes you have those big spikes. I'll have to adjust so that it doesn't go.
Like when I yell.
When you yell or something like that, it'll because you want to keep it all even. So I love that. And then the part that we can't show y'all, maybe I can find Emma's segment, but you interviewed, who was this lady?
I forget her name.
You don't have to remember her name, but what did she do?
She was like a plant expert.
A plant expert, like an outdoor plant or indoor plant?
Both. Like plants in general.
I love that. And so you came up with a question to ask her. What was your question? Do you forget what your question was?
What is the hardest plant to take care of, I think?
Oh, what was her answer? Fiddle leaf fig tree?
It was like I forget.
Was it outdoor plant?
I think it was indoor one.
Did she say why it was challenging? You forgot.
Working memory.
Yes, you got that from your mama. Okay, the other thing other person you interviewed was a beekeeper. Do you remember what question you asked him?
What is his favorite type of bee?
And what was his answer?
It was like, it's like a
Did he say Asian something?
Asian giant bee?
Yeah, I've never heard of one of those, but that was pretty cool. And the last part was you got to develop your own podcast.
Yeah.
And that was the afternoon? So what did you learn in the afternoon as opposed to the morning?
Afternoon was more like for this, with the podcast, you did more like writing stuff, like your scripts and like what you're going to talk about. And also...
I keep getting these sounds, y'all. This is not part of the sound engineering. This is my computer wanting to give me every darn notification.
And in the afternoon, it was more like filming, like working on the stuff that needed to be done.
Okay, so it kind of continued through. But what were your podcast episodes about?
The first one was about caffeine.
And why did you pick caffeine, or was that a group effort that said everyone wanted to pick caffeine?
I made a suggestion, and they were like, "Oh, that's a good idea."
Why did they decide to do caffeine? Why did you suggest that?
Because you don't let me have caffeine.
Because I don't what?
Let me have caffeine.
Why don't I let you have caffeine?
He said it's gonna make me short.
Well, that's part of what we talk about. But what are the other reasons? What does it do to your brain and your
Oh, we researched this.
Yes.
It gives you sleep problems. It increases your heart rate. It causes anxiety. I think that's it.
Those are a lot of reasons why it's really detrimental to kids, right? So when you see kids over here pounding, and also some caffeine can have a lot of sugar in it, right? So you see all
Energy
these
drinks.
We know JoJo loves her energy drink.
Red Bull.
I had a Red Bull when JoJo was like 1 year old. Uncle Ralph was drinking Red Bull, and I was like, oh, I'll try it. I think I had maybe a quarter of it. My heart felt like it was beating through my chest. I thought I was going to die. Never again. There's all these energy drinks. I don't do coffee because it's too much for me. But matcha, all day, every day. I am the matcha queen. Pistachio simple syrup will change your life in your matcha.
She's obsessed with it.
Yes, I bought some to bring home because we were out at Yin's Coffee in Pittsburgh, and I had it in March with my colleague. We stopped there on the way home, and then we just went to the same places. There's a couple of them. I didn't realize how close it was to the aviary.
Their smoothie is so good.
Was it good? No, the matcha with pistachio is a game changer. So we had that. So I love that you thought about we should talk about this, and then your peers were like, that's actually a good idea, and you also learned something. So mom isn't just making stuff up.
Yeah,
talking
you're
about
right.
the shortness though, but
you're right.
There also is a component to that it can stunt your growth. And then the second podcast, what did y'all talk about?
Bees. Well, the question was, if bees were to go extinct tomorrow, what plant would notice first?
Oh, what was the answer in your research?
Well, there's like a bunch of things, but mostly we were talking about like stuff that would disappear. So like berries, blueberries.
Love blueberries.
I think it was like wheat or oats, I think.
Really?
Yeah. And then like our diet would change drastically because of all like the stuff.
So I know that people say like save the bees, save the world, or save the planet. And right, like we need them to continue because they pollinate things that continue to grow and that we can harvest. So I love that I'm seeing more recently more beekeepers. Even if people aren't professional beekeepers, people are starting to get their own beehives, which I think I can't do that. That ain't my ministry.
I cannot get sting.
You can't get stung?
Stung. Oh.
You might be. You're probably not. I mean, it would hurt, but I don't know if you're allergic.
I never been stung.
You don't want to.
And I want to keep it that way.
Yes. Maya has been stung now twice.
Twice?
She was stung when she was a toddler. She was walking in the grass. She had sandals on, and the bee was in the grass, and it stung the side of her foot. And then in Paris, or we were in Sarlat, she was stung. So she got stung by a European bee. And you didn't even really know. She was like, I just got stung by a bee. She was so, as Maya says, nonchalant about it.
Nonchalant.
Yeah. So I love that you did this, and I love that you also incorporated your favorite colors and things. I see the cat in here.
I love cats.
And you got even a little bit of your dark color, so like that wine, dark red color and pinks. So I love that you were able to create something for you. And now I just kind of want to talk a little bit about that because it was super interesting to me that you were able to do a camp that really spoke to your interest. And so I want to talk a little bit about how did we even get to even know about this camp? Like, what did it raise up in you, raise up in me?
I know.
And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Okay, so again, some of the things that we go through is like you may pass or pause, listen fully before responding, and ask follow-up questions to understand, not correct. So round one, we're going to talk about discovering what we notice in the stories that we tell ourselves and messages and experiences that have shaped what we believe. So what is your question for me?
Who is someone who saw something special in you before you saw it in yourself? What did they help you see?
Okay, so the first person that comes to mind, so I'm not going to go the generic route if I could say Graham, but I don't know why this is coming up, and I don't have a reason for it, so I'm always just kind of being like, where does it go? Like, follow, get curious about what just came up for you. Was Mrs. Root was my 6th grade, so you're going into 6th grade. Shout out to Mrs. Root. How many of us out here in Middletown love Mrs. Root? So Mrs. Root was my 6th grade teacher. She taught history, which I was not a fan of, but there was something about her that I felt for probably the first time in school that I felt fully seen, by her. And I remember I got in trouble in 6th grade, and she was like, Amber, this is so unlike you. And I think it was a beautiful way of being, saying, oh, you did something wrong, but you're not a bad person. So I think that was the first true model that I can think of, like something so impactful, that I got in trouble, that she was like, I don't know you like this. And it wasn't a shame. It was just like, I'm still here to support you. But in terms of your question being like, I saw it in myself. I also think about, when I was just thinking about that, like I just followed the rabbit trail, was in elementary school. I think it was a flower drawing, maybe sunflowers, but I think it was with tissue paper that I made. And they actually framed it and put it up in the school. That school no longer, it still stands, but it's Mansberger. My Mansberger people, Mansberger, I think, is turned into apartments. So it was right kind of down the street from where my mom lived. But I think that's when people started saying like, oh, you're a really good artist. And so much so that they actually framed my art. So I had it framed in elementary school, and then I had another piece framed in 5th grade when I switched to another building. So, but in terms of the person that comes to mind, it's Mrs. Root. And maybe she just saw special in me that I guess maybe when I started seeing the leadership that I had in me, that she really defined for me. Any follow-up to that?
Did you like history after, like, if she
I never liked history. You know why? And I'm not saying this was Mrs. Reed, because I don't know what they teach. What are you taking in 6th grade? Social studies?
Yeah, social studies is basically like history.
I think for me, because I was one of the only people of color in my class, and so we would get to units on slavery, and then I don't remember this in Mrs. Root's class, but I remember this in high school, where it would be something about Black culture. And they'd be like, Amber knows the answer to this. And I'm like, why I gotta know the answer? I'm not all things Black history. And so what I learned either is that I had to know all the answers, or that I was a descendant of slaves. And there was never any emphasis other than Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King about anything that we did to contribute to society, which is we contributed so much. We talked about that, the culture, everything, the richest of food. And so I think that's why I didn't really like it. And most of the teachers are kind of boring. Not all of them. Some of them are really like, they were engaging, but the topic was not engaging for me.
Oh.
So the answer is no. But now as an adult, I'm like, oh my gosh, I missed out on so much. There's so much rich history that I wasn't exposed to. Your dad always loved history because he had an amazing history teacher that was completely nerded about history and like taught him things outside of what the textbooks provided. So I think that makes a difference. And if you're following to the script versus exposing kids to like getting their interest in there. So that's where I went wrong. I didn't have that exposure, but I get it now. That was a good question though. Do you like history?
Yes.
You do? I think so. You shared it. I think because Daddy's also exposed you to history. And also, you know who also likes history?
Who?
Tom. So that's probably just like a trait that y'all have. So Tom loved history.
It's a gene.
Yeah. So Tom really, Black history was something that she always studied. So I love that. I think your dad was probably exposed to that. And it's also probably just something that y'all are just zeroed in on that. But I think that's really awesome because it's really, really important. Okay. So the question I have for you is, what do you think Dr. Nicole saw in you that made her think you would love this camp? So little backstory is Dr. Nicole Holland Sims, shout out to Dr. Nicole Holland Sims, fellow school psych. She sent me this link. She was like, oh, I think Emma would be perfect for this camp. And it was a podcasting camp. So I talked about in my newsletter and saying how community is also so helpful. So I'll do work with people and I'm like, something that we talked about this a little last week, when someone sees something in you, believe it or get curious about it, being like, ooh, maybe should I think that about myself? Is that true about me? And so she was like, I saw this about Emma. And so that's why I was looking at this question about what do you think Dr. Nicole saw in you that made her think you would love this camp?
Me enjoying podcasting?
Yeah.
These episodes?
So tell me a little bit more about that. What do you think when people, what have you heard from people that come up to you on the street?
They love my podcast.
Do you have a recent example of this?
Oh,
At
yeah,
the camp?
yeah.
What happened at the camp? On the last day when you're doing your...
This one parent came up and she was like, "Are you Emma Sessions?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was talking about how she loves our podcast.
I mean, I can't go anywhere, y'all. This is what I'm saying. They're not worried about me, and that's fine.
I'm famous.
Oh, she said, I'm famous. No, I love that you're like, people are being inspired by you, and that she asked her daughter about the camp, I think the first day or something, and she said Emma, and she was like, Emma Sessoms? Like, I don't know why she even put those two things together. But she says she watches every episode, and that just made me so happy to see that. And she was just giving you all these accolades, and I think that's what people see in you. And so to have someone say, "Ooh, I saw this camp that is something Emma already loves to do, I think this would be perfect for her," was so amazing that someone thought enough to be like, "Ooh, I just found something for Emma." Does that make you feel special that someone was like,
Yes.
"Why are you shaking my hand?" So I think that's awesome. So she saw that you love podcasts, and that was what she saw. And to find something that someone offers something. So some of the things that I wrote in the newsletter was like, when you find someone in your village or your community that says, "I see this in you," and not only do they see it in you, they find opportunities that align. So there's an organization, there's a company that was like, "Oh, we want to help expose kids to this." How perfect is that? Because a lot of times there's things that we love that we don't have any exposure to or access
Now
to.
you gotta get me into a sewing camp.
A sewing camp. Grandma Kia used to do a sewing camp.
Really?
Yes. In Harrisburg. She did a sewing camp every summer. And then all these prom dresses took over. So some of her people now were in her sewing camp that she made dresses for, or that help her to make the dresses.
Well, I don't want to make dresses. I want to
But you
make
can make
clothes.
anything. She doesn't just make dresses. Yeah. But yes, I think that, so we'll have to look for a sewing camp. Maybe you convince her to do a camp next year. I know it's a lot of work, but I think it's
fun.
Yes, and it exposes kids to think what's possible because they didn't know. So to wrap this one up, one story I heard underneath your answer was
that you didn't like history.
But the story was what? Not that I didn't like it, but what are you hearing underneath it? Like, why didn't I like it?
Because you weren't interested in it, and it wasn't like your preference of like what you liked, I think.
Yes, and also because it really just gave a very narrow focus of Black Americans and Black people, and because that was my identity, or I was singled out as being the only one that could name it, that I had all the answers, and also it just gave a very narrow view, made it very hard for me to find my identity in there and the truth in that. And so one story I heard underneath your answer was that she saw something in you that she loved. So I think sometimes what we do, the story I'm wondering for you is that there's courage that comes in, like putting yourself out here on the web, on the internets, right?
Internets.
Al Gore's internets, that's old. But there's a courage that has to come from you exposing yourself. And so I hear a little bit of when this lady was like, "Oh, I love your podcast," you were like, "I'm famous." And I wonder if that makes your experience very unique from your peers, even at the summer camp, thinking about like, "Oh, I actually do a podcast with my mom and people recognize me."
Well, I wouldn't say recognize. Know me. Like some people in the area.
And in the area, yes, in the area know you. So I think that is, that's pretty cool. So I hear this story about, I'm famous, or like, I'm working on my autograph. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't get that this is big ego. What I love is that it's giving you pride in the things that you do, and you're just coming on here being yourself. So it's nothing that you're doing to produce it. I think it's just you being you, and that people are honoring you being you, I think is the beauty in that you don't have to do something outside of being you. You can just come on here, ask questions, and people are like, "I love Emma for who Emma is."
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So round two. So we're looking at deciding which stories still serve us, what aligns with our values and what we will, there she goes talking about my why did she do this, y'all? You're having focusing problems today, I see. And this is what I say, that she's just going to be who she's going to be. Should I read that again? This is how you have that higher frequency. Listen, y'all, I'm trying to work out and talk about focus. I'm trying to touch my face and pull my glasses up, and my tricep is so tight that I can't touch my face. It's something about working out at 45. At 25, I could probably do this no problem. Now I'm like, I can't touch my face. Oh no. Okay, did I lose the questions? Okay. Discernment helps us decide which stories still serve us, what aligns with our values, and what we may need to understand differently. So what's your question for me?
When do you feel most like yourself? What are you usually doing?
Talking to people. Why did you laugh like that? Do you think that's true?
You love to talk. Not in a bad way, though.
Like talking too much? Yeah. I think talking to people, and I'll hear people say, like, the one example that I always come back to is, and I don't want to start downplaying things, because there was something I heard on Instagram recently about your gifts you don't even recognize. Oh, TD Jakes was talking about this. So he's a pastor, and he's talking about gifts, and like, you might not even recognize them as gifts, but other people will call them out as gifts because it's just what you do naturally. And so I think that is true for me, that if I keynote, if I interview someone, I remember I interviewed Eddie Glaude in Longwood Gardens, and he is internationally known, and I was just doing what I do, just asking him questions.
You said you were getting bit by fire ants.
No, I could have been, but they were near us before we went on the stage. But I remember after that, people coming up to me and being like, "Oh my gosh," like they're gushing over me, and I'm like, "Yo, Eddie Glaude's right here. Like, don't y'all want to talk to him?" And so I felt it was really awkward, because I was like, I was just doing what I do, and even him embracing me and being like, "Oh my God, that was so good." So I'm keen and more into that. That is something that I really love to do. I always say, for the rest of my life, if I could just talk to people and honor their stories, that's what I would do. I would absolutely love to do that. So that's when I feel most like me, when I'm just getting to know other people's stories. Any follow-up to that? Any thoughts? Okay. So the question I have for you, what were you doing at camp when you felt most like
Making
yourself? Can you wait for me to be done? What were you doing at camp when you felt most like yourself?
Making music.
No one can understand what you're saying.
Making music.
Making music.
Yes.
So why?
I love making music. It's so fun.
Say more.
I play the bass, if you didn't know. Which you think is too big.
It's not. They say you need a bigger size. I'm like, I have a big SUV, y'all, and I got to put all the seats down to get this thing in the car. It's huge. And she's the tiniest thing, and she's playing this huge bass.
I like the way it sounds.
Yes, and that's what she said.
Nice.
So this is, again, tying into what you love and your uniqueness and your gifts, is that I was like, why do you, because I'm thinking, of all instruments, this child want to play the bass. First of all, how much it costs was what I was thinking. And I was like, I don't want to deter her, but I just want to know why. And you're like, I like how it feels in my body. And I was like, listen, I love it. Like, you love how the low notes.
Should I play it?
Oh my gosh.
Please, Mommy.
Go ahead.
Yay! I don't have my bow right now.
You have to get your bow. Are you just going to pluck it?
I can pluck it.
Look how big this thing is, y'all.
I don't even fit. That's the deepest note if you pluck it. But you can also go.
Can they even see your head?
Yeah.
Well, what were you playing earlier with your
Tremolato.
bow? Tremolato.
Yeah, it goes like.
Yeah, so she was playing that. I was
should
like,
I go
don't.
Get it?
Okay.
Be careful. Her name's Bertha. Bertha.
Bertha.
Yes.
I'm holding Big Bertha while she gets her bow. Maybe if you sit down, Emma, you can actually, they can see you.
No, because no.
You can't sit down and play
I have
it?
to have like a stool, like a high stool.
Oh, that's right.
Because I have to like. So this is A. G. Two on blue?
Tromblue?
Two on blue.
Two on blue? What language is that?
Two on
Two
blue.
on blue. I think you're saying like a language like French, like Tom Blue?
No, there is some stuff with like this that, like forte.
Okay. That's pretty darn cool. See, and you
F
just
sharp.
Is it tuned? What note is that?
That's the deepest note.
Hot cross buns.
I messed it.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I knew what you were playing.
Yeah.
So I think the one thing about this, and I love that your face lit up, and you're like, can I play it? Can I play it, please? Is when you played for the concert for the whole 5th grade, or even before that when it would just be you, because there's typically only one person, and it would be Emma Sessoms. And she was like, they told me that I couldn't because you were thinking about maybe I don't want to play this anymore. And what did your members say to you? What do you call your band members say to you? Or your orchestra?
Orchestra. It's not band.
I'm sorry. The other kids played in the band.
They said they need me. I carry the team.
She carries the team.
It's
Yes.
because I got the deep notes.
Y'all probably can't see her face too much on this, but she really wanted y'all to.
I'll put it back now. Ooh.
So we keep it over here in the corner. This has turned into her music room. She has an acoustic guitar and a keyboard. But she broke one of the acoustic guitar strings, so we need to
No,
get
I
that
broke
fixed.
2.
Oh, she broke 2. This was Daddy's old acoustic guitar, so we can get that fixed, though. All right, Emma.
Okay. Okay, we're done.
This episode's going to be like 2 hours long. So I love that. And the question that we got off the tangent of is that you feel most like yourself when you're making music. And so you have that passion and that you found a camp that allowed you to create sounds and make meaning from that and tell a story, I think was pretty cool. So music isn't just, oh, that sounds good. It makes you feel something, right? It makes you move. Or like you could put it to, if you want to feel sad, there's certain songs that you play to get that. Or like the scary stuff. When the music changes, I'm like, what's about to happen? I don't like that, right? So the music can change for that. So that's really important that you're learning emotions and how to evoke that in people. I think is pretty cool that you're learning that. Okay. So discernment reflection is something you said made me curious about.
I think maybe when you were like, if I could like talk forever, I think. I'm paraphrasing.
Right.
If I could talk to, I think, everyone, I would. I'm paraphrasing.
And so what makes you curious about that?
Because some people can't do that.
Can't talk to other people? Or not naturally good at that? Or
Social skills.
oh. So you're saying for me or like people that talking to me, it would be people are not great at talking either. But you're curious about like, oh, how would you, maybe like someone that would be really hard to talk to, how could I actually get them to talk and open up? How do you create that safety? Yes, I love that. And so something you said that made me curious is I couldn't even get the question out. And you were like, music, making music. And so that's something.
Making music.
Making music. There's something I always saw in you that does that, and then you could find a camp, and that there's access to, right? I think about when we went to tour Drexel with Maya, and how we were looking at game designing, and how the professor said, before you didn't even have access to this technology, but there's so much technology now that kids are making their own games now in high school, middle school. And so the technology that you're using, GarageBand, Canva, all the things, is allowing you to create where that before was only for people that were sound engineers. So I get curious about what other tools can we get you access to that would help you to develop this love even more. Okay, last round. Devotion asks what we will practice, protect, or create because of what we have discovered. So what's your question for me?
What is something you want to do more often because it feels like you?
Talking to people. So I think more keynoting would be good. I did not want to do that for years because it was just very strange for people to be coming up to me and crying and be like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, what is happening? But I embrace it more now and finding new ways to do that. So our live podcast events, or how we're working towards our cards and having live events for other people to get them into conversation, so that I'm not always the only one that is, because what I also love is not just having the conversations, I love facilitating conversations and people sharing out what they've learned about each other or what that means for the world, because I think the one important thing is that we learn so much from people and what they say. You're like, oh, I never thought about it like that, right? Like your chicken nugget wisdom. So I think that would be something I want to do more of. How do I find other ways to do that? Live events, keynotes, bringing you alongside me and getting even more of that youth wisdom, I think would be really cool. And for you, what is something you love that you want more chances to learn or practice?
It's between two.
Okay.
Clay. I haven't done it in so long.
I saw you downstairs doing the sand. Clay. Yeah.
I made ice cream.
That was pretty cool. And you took a journal and covered it with, what did you cover that with? Glue?
Hot glue. I like the feeling.
Yes, it is pretty. You would never know that that's a journal book. And there's like a teddy bear on top.
Bunny.
A bunny. It's pretty cool. And you painted it. But this is what your brain does. So you said two. So clay.
Sewing.
And sewing. You whispered it. Sewing. And so my follow-up to that, why do you want more? Why do you love those two things? Clay and sewing.
Because they're both hands-on, and I like doing stuff like that. I like clay. I like that you can like make stuff with both of them.
Yeah, making something out of nothing. So someone could just look at a block of clay and be like, what am I supposed to do with that? And you already look at it and you're probably like, ooh.
I made you that snake.
Yes. So I love that. So I think it's like endless possibilities, right? Like you can dream and create anything out of nothing. I think that is like the ultimate, like we are creators. And what better way to take a block of clay and mold it into something? That's a whole biblical scripture there. You better go ahead. Okay. So the follow-up to that is the next time someone shares something they're interested in with us, we will
support them.
How will we do that?
By letting them do what they want to create.
Yeah, I think even leaning in and being like, why? Not as a why, being like, why would you want to do that? It's so stupid. Like kind of even with the bass, I'm like, oh, like in my head, I'm like, oh.
And you're like, okay.
And I was like, yeah, like tell me why. And I think that's important to let people express, to know why, not just because, oh, my friend does it. So I think a lot of times we can do that too.
But to get only bass.
Right, but to get curious about the why, and also how can I get you access to this, and maybe reaching out to your networks. How Dr. Nicole was like, hey, WITF has a camp, and it'd be perfect for Maya. I think those things are important. Maya? Look, yeah, I'll be getting my kids' names confused. Emma. And then I lost my train of thought because here comes Carrie Brain. Exposing you to that, but it's also, I think, about you naming it. So if you keep things inside and you don't ever name that thing, how can people support you in it? So you might in your head think, oh, that's a really stupid idea. And so you never say it out loud, so you never get to explore it. It's like, say that thing out loud and see what can unfold and what can happen. I would drop a chicken nugget for that one, but you know, it's just me.
For one episode, we should have like a platter of chicken nuggets.
We'll just eat chicken nuggets and
Yeah.
talk. But you know, I can't take the chewing. I can't do that.
ASMR.
So, okay, so we're going to do our reciprocal witnessing, and you go first.
Oh. Something I heard you say that I want to remember is that you don't like history. I thought you like at least like enjoyed it like a tiny bit, but like not like you.
No, I didn't, but now I do. I didn't when I was young because of, you know, it didn't teach me what I wanted to learn more about. But now, I love it now. It's so important because it's all about who gets to tell the story. So when you look at the story from people that have been pushed out to the margins and they get to tell the story, it's so much more powerful and more robust than like the really narrow view of how people tell a story. So there's so much that we don't know about history because the people in power would burn the books, would write the story, would tell it in a way that made the others look inferior. And so when you get to turn the lens and see it from another perspective, I think that's the powerful part about the work now that I do is because, I learned the truth as opposed to the lies that I was told about inferiority and all those things and savagery and all savages and like monsters and all the things that you talk about. Who is the one that is the other? And there's something I'm thinking about. Bell Hooks talks about if you're the other or the one that's the object, the one like you're always being told the story about, and like how do I take back that pen? So I think that's the beautiful part about history is that we can tell the story, we can write it, and look at who's writing the story, who's telling the story. Also makes you think about that. So I love that. Yes. Something special I saw in you today that you bring out to our family community is your excitement and your joy about what you love. Because I think what happens when you become older is that thing that would make us come alive, we lose that because people will say, oh, that's stupid. Or how you going to make money from that? And you were like, can I play the bass? Can I go? You're jumping up from the screen. And I think you show me to get back to that all in wonder and being like, do what you love because it makes you come alive. And something we didn't say in the beginning is the quote that coming alive comes from Howard Thurman. We talked about that before, but he has another quote where he talks about the sound of the genuine. And so what you're helping me do and what you do is that you continue to bring out that genuine thing in you. Like you're like, I'm going to get curious about what I love. And I want to do more of that. And that not only do you say that, but you will advocate and be like, I really want to do this thing. And I think that's really important in a world that is too busy to sometimes narrow in on what you love and like create opportunities for you. So that's what you bring to this family community. And then switching that, something I heard you say that I want to remember is, I think those two things you said that I'm getting curious about is the clay and the sewing. So how do we present some opportunities to you that you can do more of that? And what does that say about you just being a creative in general? And also the reason why you said because you like doing things with your hands. What does that mean for you and how you show up in the world? But if you don't expose you, if you don't do it, then we'll never know. So just creating more opportunities for you to do that.
I love using clay.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Okay. Something special I saw in you today that you bring to our family / community is how you love to talk in a good way.
In a good way.
You are a great talker.
That is almost like you're a great talker. Sometimes you talk too much. You be yapping, mommy. You can kind of see her face. Sometimes she was like, stop. She has to reel me in a little bit. You're helping me become a better listener. So thank you for that. That's a gift you also bring. So with everything that we talked about today, what is your chicken nugget wisdom today?
Do something that is calling to you, whether it's taking photos, making art, anything. Just do it.
Just do it. That is your motto.
For a week.
For a week?
Yeah.
So how would you know what's calling to you? How do you figure that out?
Figure out for the week.
But how would you, what would be your first step? What would you suggest if you don't even know what's calling you? So think about it from an adult perspective. It might be easier for a kid to tap in, but like for an adult, like I'm so far removed from that thing that used to bring me joy because life is so hard. Where would I even start to even think about what's calling to me?
Think about stuff that you liked in your childhood.
That's good.
Or that you liked in your teenage years.
Yeah, I think it's good to go back and reclaim your childhood and think about that. I wonder if another way is also thinking about, it doesn't always work out like this, but some of the ways that we cope could be helpful ways that we need to tap into, if it's healthy coping skills. But if it's like, you like to be outside, you like to get plants. So one of the things that I noticed during COVID, right, is that I bought a bunch of plants. And so what do I get from that, and can I do more of that, and like get curious about like, why did I buy all these plants? Right, just getting curious about the things that you do, or if I like cooking or baking, like getting curious about that and doing more of that. So
Mine's a good baker.
Yes, from scratch is pretty cool. So I love that you're like, go back maybe childhood and see what are the things that you really liked. So that would, I think, take some stillness, take some looking and getting curious about yourself.
That's why I gave you guys a week.
Yeah, because it might take that long. Maybe journal it out and think about, sometimes it looks, if you look at old pictures, if you have access to your old pictures and you can see what you did, or, Graham just brought over all my old yearbooks. And so seeing what people wrote about me there, or what clubs I was involved in. Key Club all day, every day. I love me some Key Club. Key Club is where I learned how to be a leader. So think about, why did I love Key Club, and how did that make me, how did I evolve into the person I am today? Because Key Club was about service in your community. So I love that. That is a good chicken nugget. It's also another challenge. So y'all have a week.
1 week.
Report back. And what did you say? You said what's calling to you. You better go ahead with these. That's deep. What's calling to you? I would love to know. Young, old, in between. What's calling to you? Here she goes. What are we doing?
The chicken nugget wisdom. Yeah.
You were in rare form today. We will see y'all.
Chicken nugget wisdom.
And I don't even know why you're singing like this, because you could actually sing and you're singing all silly. But it makes for a good outro. We see y'all next week, y'all. Bye.
Chicken nugget wisdom.
My gosh. I think she had caffeine.
I'm so glad you joined me and Mommy for this episode of Living in 3D Power. I hope you like it. Now do me a favor before you leave. Subscribe to our Substack and make sure you subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts too. And hey, do me another favor. Share this episode with a friend or family member. If something we said made you laugh, made you smile, or it might mean something to them, just send it away. Okay, one more favor. That's a lot of favors, I know. Head over to the comments on our social media. Tell us what made you say, "That's deep, bro." Because your words encourage other people and they encourage us too. See you next time.